Okay, so let's talk about this cluster really quick. Um, this isn't something that, I mean, yes, it's something you have to think about and it's something you have to work on. And the longer you think about it, the more you do it, the more expansive it's going to be. So you've looked at your task, you've picked your audience, you've decided what your purpose is, and you've picked your forms. You kind of know where you're headed in this pre writing process towards that final write that you'll do next week. Now, when you're thinking about the cluster, you have a task, you have materials to go with this. You're not writing just on some topic from scratch. I didn't say, write me a paper about change or grace or whatever. I gave you a task, or we gave you a task. So you have all these materials to draw from when you're starting to think of your nucleus word. So you're going to put that in the middle. And remember, this is pre writing, it does not have to be massively neat. Okay? All right, unless it bothers you if it's not neat. If it bothers you if it's not neat, be neat. It's up to you. All right, but in that nucleus word, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of look at our materials and I'm going to give you some options for nucleus words just to get you going. Okay? Now, you do not have to use any of these words. If there's one that just flies into your mind with this task, with this prompt, go there. Okay? That is up to you. All right, but really be thinking of these in terms of those level 2 abstract concepts that we mark our text for. Okay, that's that number 6 in our annotation instructions. All right, so when you're using those, that number 6 where you're bracketing off sections in blue and giving them an abstract concept. And it's also a good place and a good way to think about reaching out, giving yourself overall cohesion when you're writing something. Maybe you start it with in your introduction and your hook and those kinds of things, and then you come back to it in your conclusion, and you kind of thread it through. Okay, it's just a way to think about it. All right. So I would start, if it were me, with the prompt. So what kind of words are there that might be that nucleus word? Okay, I might think about reality. Now I'm just going to give you a list, okay? And I'm going to put them in the PowerPoint, so you'll have them there too. All right? So reality is a good one when you're looking at that prompt. And I'm going to also, I'll bring the computer closer so you can see. Or possibly, let's see, grace is a good one. I'm going to put a bunch of them in there. All right, or actually, why don't we do it this way? We'll just do several. Reality, grace, let's see, what else is there? Change, right? That's a good one. Reason, okay? Think about that maybe. Or violence. All right. So those are just a few of the ones that I drew from the prompt. But then you can also kind of take a minute and look at the essay. So you have unreasonable. Maybe that's one that you can do. You have check with the grandmother gesture. Right? Essence. Okay. I might think about that concept of goodness. The grandmother says it a lot. What is goodness? You are a good man. Okay. All right. That might be a good nucleus word. I like mustard seed, but that's a wholly up to you. All right. Mystery, maybe. Talks about mysteries. And that mustard seed could be part of that. I mean, you could do that as an offshoot. Um, Okay, those are all good choices. Lots of other choices in there. I'm not going to give them all to you. Okay, what's another one? If you looked at the story, what might you see? Family, right? Family might be a good one to look at. We got violence, there's for sure. Crime or punishment. How about punishment? You know, the misfit later in the story talks about the punishment equaling the crime. Okay. How about that one? Or fairness. Okay. How about forgiveness? Mercy, maybe? Okay. So just that gives you a really great place to start. All right. There are a lot of options here. And then when you're doing that cluster, so you might start off, just make those associations. You know, I might actually connect grace and forgiveness and mercy and grace. Are they the same thing? And then from there, you know, maybe change, you might go with character. And then from there, you might talk about the specific characters. Okay, so you're just going to free associate. Just whatever comes to mind. Things that come to mind that aren't part of the story or the essay, or things from the essay and the story that really jump to you when you are thinking about this sort of larger concept. And it's a way just to get you started. And the longer you kind of do it, so spend a little time doing this. Really let it sink in. But don't feel too much pressure to have it be perfect. There's no perfect here. This is your pre-writing. This is your brainstorming. This is getting you started. All right. And when you're done with this, set it aside for a little bit because you don't have to have the quick write turned in until Thursday or until Friday. Okay. Now, if you want to go straight into the quick write, we'll go ahead and look at the next slide. Go straight into the quick write. But it's not due until Friday. All right. So I will explain how you do the quick write in the next video.